So Avatar Meher Baba ki jai once again, and welcome to our lovely session, Fragrance of Love with Mehera and the Women Mandali. So we will begin our sessions every time with this beautiful video on Baba's Dhun. I hope my voice is clear to everyone. Just you can put a reaction thumbs up or something, or write in the chat yes. Thank you.
Meher Baba, 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 Meher Baba,
Jai Mehera Meher. So, for all those who have just joined in, we shall be meeting every Friday at this time to read from this beautiful book, Mehera, published by Beloved Books, Noshirwan Anzar. We will read a page, 2 pages every time, and I'll share maybe some pictures in between or a small short video of Mehra, about Mehra, or the Women Mandali. And then we will open up on discussions, sharing any stories, anecdotes, or any thoughts, any quotes that you all would want to share concerning Mehra or the Women Mandali, the Eastern and the Western Women Mandali. So I'll just restart from the beginning with this book. On the cover flap of the book, this is what is written. Whenever God comes on earth as man, as Ram, for example, or as Krishna, as Jesus, or in this time as Meher Baba, it is always the case that one person among his close ones or plays a special role as his most important disciple. This is the role of the divine counterpart, the beloved of the divine beloved, whose love for him is unique in its purity and its one pointedness. This is the role of Sita or Radha, of Mary, and this time of Mehera. Meher Baba has declared that this long heralded and much expected advent, the Kalki avatar for Hindus, the Maitreya Buddha for Buddhists, the second coming for Christians, is the last divine incarnation in this cycle of cycles. As much Meher Baba has indicated that his manifestation on earth will accordingly be the greatest in its scope and impact. Perhaps of the first signs of the special significance of this advent can be found in the most exquisite beauty of Mehra's life with Baba and in the opportunity which he has given his lovers to partake of the inspiration of that life. For in her role as the divine companion to the God man, Mehra has become a divine reflection of him, providing a glimpse of what true love can be through her example and her stories of her life with him. This book then provides a glimpse of Mehra and through her of love itself, personified in the form of perfect man, who in this age is known as Meher Baba. This book is compiled from talks and original tape recordings of Mehraj J. Irani. This beautiful picture of Baba and Mehra at the Meher Spiritual Center, and the opening line of the book, Mehra, she is my very breath, without which I cannot live. Meher Baba. This book has been compiled and edited by Janet Judson with the assistance of Shelley Marriage. Published by Noshirwan Anzar, Beloved Books. Copyright 1989, Avatar Meher Baba Perpetual Public Charitable Trust, Ahmednagar, India. Forward by Mani S. Irani, Beloved Baba's sister. Meher Baba, the divine beloved of all hearts, has called Mehra his beloved. I'm sure his lovers must wonder what this can actually mean. As Mehra's constant companion throughout our life with Baba, I can be said to be entitled to answer this unspoken question in so far as words can be entitled to speak for the heart. My words can only try, through this introduction of Mehra's book, which gives a glimpse of her unique life and role in this Avataric Advent. As Sita was for Ram, Radha for Krishna, Mary for Jesus. For this advent of Meher Baba, it is Mehera who plays the leading role. This role of being the chosen counterpart to the God man amounts to the highest, purest, most spiritual relationship, consisting of a divine love which the world cannot imagine. This love between Baba and Mehra is in an is in an inner realm which has nothing to do with love, as defined in the world's dictionary. In these times when the outer has become the altar of worship, when the wrapping of a gift often receives more attention than its content, it is natural that everything concerning love should be translated into the external, the physical. But do not make that mistake about Mehra's relationship with Baba, or for that matter, about any of us living with Baba. The keynote of our life with Baba was purity, and Baba was very, very particular and strict about it. He never allowed the slightest compromise in this regard. So, our relationship with Baba and with each other was always totally innocent of physical involvement. You could even say that we were as children together around Baba, Easterners and Westerners, young and old. Baba kept us like children in this respect and shaped that childlike quality of life which leads to true purity of heart, involving self forgetfulness and self sacrifice of the highest order. And so, just as Mehra is Baba's beloved, she is also his child in the spiritual sense. The absolutely clear mirror of Mehra's immaculate heart, which Baba took great pains to keep unclouded by the dust of the world, reflects Baba's image, the image of the divine beloved, as none other can. From the beginning and throughout her life with Baba, Mehra's status as his beloved grew obvious to us in many ways. Her place was foremost in all things concerning Baba. All personal privileges in attending to Baba's form were hers. Combing his hair, trimming his moustache, cutting his nails, seeing to his clothes, and all things concerning his precious person. Let me give you an example of Baba's relationship with Mehra that clearly indicates her special position in the kingdom of his love. When we would be seated at the dining table, it would be Mehra who had the privilege of serving Baba. And when Mehra would offer him something from her plate, something she knew Baba was partial to, like a piece of cheese or such delicacy, Baba would taste it to please Mehra and return it to her, saying, "No, Mehra, you eat it. It will be just the same as if I am eating it." Another example of Mehra's number one position among us, while on occasion Baba would offer his hand to us to kiss, it was he who kissed Mehra's hand. We witnessed this natural gesture many a time at Mehrazad and Guru Prasad, and happily it is captured on one of the films for you all to share. Repeatedly, Baba has said, "If Mehra is happy, I am happy." He not only said it, but he demonstrated it in a number of ways. I would notice that Baba always agreed with anything that Mehra stated. If she said, "Baba, such and such is so, isn't it?" he would reply, "Yes, it is so." Baba always agreed with whatever Mehra said. Even when to my mind and logic it seemed that what Baba was agreeing to could not possibly be so. Although I never said anything at such times, one day I became exasperated enough to tell him in Mehra's absence, Baba, I guess if Mehra were to say that the world is square, you would agree. Baba looked at me and solemnly nodded. Yes, I would. Baba's reply stunned me, and it taught me a lesson as to how one pleases one's beloved. Playing the role of the lover in his relationship with Mehra, Baba was showing us how we should please Baba, our beloved. If Baba were to tell us that the world is square, our answer, as befitting a true lover, should be yes, Baba. If in the midst of bright daylight he were to say it is dark, we should not only say yes, Baba, but run and fetch the lantern, just as a disciple and slave of an old time master had done. So, it is that Mehra, in the eternal role of beloved to the divine beloved, gave Baba the opportunity to play the role of lover and show us how it should be done. This drove home to me his immense love for us. By taking on the role of lover, the beloved demonstrates to us how we should please him. Every action of Baba's was multi purpose. Even the most casual thing that Baba did not only affected each of the persons around him, but also had universal reactions and repercussions as well. So it was with Baba Mehra's relationship, a pure mountain stream bubbling from the heart of the world. It is not only for Mehra, but for all to drink from. Anyone who misconstrues this relationship, who allows even a passing thought or doubt from a narrow mind to adulterate its purity, deprives himself from receiving of that wellspring of true love. On 31st January 1968, 1 year to the day before he set aside his lovely form, although at the time we had no idea of the significance of that date, Baba initiated a more public role for Mehra, who had always lived a life completely sheltered from the world. Baba kept all of the women who stayed with him strictly apart from the men. But in Mehra's case, it was again very special. For many years, she could not even hear the name of any man, even, for example, when the newspaper was read out. Her cloistered life was the most singular. Not only had Baba given her the all time restriction not to be touched by men, a restriction which continues even now, but not once had Mehra ever met or greeted or even seen at close range any of the men Mandli who lived with Baba. But on 31st January 1968, exactly a year before the time when Mehra would perforce begin to meet Baba's lovers in the physical absence of her beloved, Baba asked Mehra to stand beside him on the porch of the women Mandli's residence, now known as Mehra's porch, and to greet the men Mandli for the first time. He wanted her to see the men and say, Jai Baba to them. And after the years and years of her sheltered life, Mehra was understandably nervous. Baba told her, Don't be nervous. You will be holding my hand. I'll be holding your hand. Baba and Mehra wear a sari for Baba had Mehra wear a sari for the occasion, and in his frail health, he sat on a chair on the porch while she stood beside him, her hand in his. All the resident men Mandli of Meherazad, along with those from Ahmednagar and Mehrabad, like Adi, Padri, Ramju, Chagan, etc., silently walked up to the porch towards Baba and Mehra and stood before them. Then, as directed by Baba, Mehra greeted them with folded hands and said, Jai Baba. Little did we know then that with this totally unprecedented event, Baba was planting the seeds for the part Mehra would play after he dropped his body. We went to Pune in 1969 for that incredible great darshan in Guru Prasad, when Baba's promised children came for the darshan of their unseen beloved. Each darshan morning, we would see Mehra stand up and come to the microphone, looking up to see the large hall full of mostly new Baba lovers, and she would greet them with a shy but clear Jai Baba. And as you know, she continues to do so day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year, as countless more of his lovers have joined those beginners, ranks towards the flood tide of humanity, which will come to Baba. Baba is the sun and source of all things, and whatever we offer to him has been received by us from him. By asking us to love Him, He is giving us the love to love with. This was even so with beloved Baba's last message to Mehra. Shortly before he dropped his body, Baba asked me to take a message to Mehra. He told me to tell her, Mehra, be brave. And although it seems that Baba was asking something from Mehra with these words, in actuality, Baba was giving her the courage with which to be brave. And because it came from him, she was able to be brave during that most difficult period after he left his form. And so, when we were among the crowd of his lovers on Mehrabad Hill, during that unforgettable week of February 69, we saw Mehra greeting the Baba lovers who came, embracing the women, comforting them with the assurance of his continued presence. Many came from South India, even not knowing their language was no barrier. Just Baba, Baba, Baba. The simple exchange of the beloved's name between them and Mehra proved ample communication for their adoring hearts. Along with our pain of separation, Baba's presence grows stronger with time. It is natural that his presence should be particularly with Mehra, whose heart he has made so pure as to perfectly reflect him. Beloved Baba has said of his beloved, Mehra loves me as I should be loved. This divine romance of infinite beauty will be sung and celebrated throughout the world, inspiring lovers of God to aspire for Mehra's one pointed love for the beloved God man. Mani S. Irani, Baba's sister, March 1989. Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Yes, no, I saw Baba dance. Yes, it was early morning at 5 o'clock, and we were new in Mehrabad, staying with Baba, with my mother, we 4 girls were there, and just 5 of us. One morning, of course, every morning we have to get up very early, and one morning at 5 o'clock, even before having tea, Baba was singing very beautifully. So my mother woke us up and said, come on, quick, Baba's singing, and we must hear him. And so she was near the window, but not very near the window. But Baba was on the veranda where we could not see him. And so Baba came round the corner, and as he came singing a very beautiful tune, you may call it, and yes, tune, but the song also was something, a new song that Baba had never sung. And yes, it's not that I can't explain about song. It's a song that a girl would sing, when she follows her masters. That she wants to say that I've given up all my everything to him. Like become a sannyasi or something like that. Remember, or he might say, he has no sense. Haven't you got any sense that you could remember? Or if he did it here, Baba say, how fortunate you are. You have no idea how fortunate you are. Like for instance, or he would say, don't worry, be happy. Or he'd say, what are you thinking? It all depended on the gesture. Even this could mean, it could mean good, it could mean very good, it could mean wonderful, could mean nice. Just depending on Baba's expressions. Like when he said, talk, Baba would say. Now this can be not only talk, but any utterance from the lips. It could mean read, when I would read out loud to Baba. It could mean read, it could mean talk. Or he'd ask somebody sitting there and say, anything to ask? Anything else? Or if I was reading, go on, read fast. Or he would say about somebody, she just talks and talks and talks and talks all day. Like that. The one gesture that I love most, it was always so tremendous, although it was just a natural, simple gesture from Baba, and that was forgiveness. Baba's gesture for love and forgiveness were the same. So forgiveness really comes from love. Baba would say, she loves me very much, But forgiveness would be a giving from Baba. He would do this and that. And when Baba forgave, it was like the ocean that comes over onto the beach. And when it recedes, there's not a trace left, not a track left. Baba's forgiveness was so tremendous and great. But every time when it would be in Baba, said, all right, I forgive.
This line was so beautiful that Baba's gesture for love and forgiveness is the same because forgiveness comes from love. That was so beautiful, as Mani just shared. So we have dear Habovi auntie here, we have Vijayji here. So, Habovi auntie, would you begin some sharing any story, any anecdote that you remember? I'm sure you have tons of them. Uh, Habovi auntie, you can mute yourself now. Unmute, sorry.
It okay? Is that good? Well, all right. So there's so many, but I start with the first time that I saw Mehera and all of them, Mehera, Mani, the whole string bang, lot of my beautiful Mandali, Mehera and the Mandali, and also Mansari. See, in 1954 till 1960, June 60, I was not a Baba lover. But in 1954, Meher Baba asked Arnavas to send Bhushan and me with the bus that was going for the Vadyapak Darshan that time, So we were traveling with them. And so we were there at the Vadyapak. And during the interval, lunch break, Arnavas said, come, I'm going to take you somewhere. And Arnavas took me to this little bungalow sort of thing with a hedge and, very pretty ladies. They all look like Persian beauties with fans. And they were behind the fans and I had no concept of who Baba was or who the ladies were. And then Anavaz introduces me. And Roshani's fiance, Roshan's fiance. And Mehera and oozing love, money, everybody, including Mansari. Mansari is also standing there. And I said, what is all happening? What were these pretty ladies who are oozing so much love, who I don't even know from Adam? And, that was my first um, view of Mehera. So, I mean, it just didn't make anything of it, but yet that was the first time. And later on, at the Guru Prasad days, I was lucky that Mehera took me under her wing, and she would take me to her room. I'd go there, and if I taking too much time, I can do that another time. Is that all right to say? Continue for a while. Okay, so she would take me, and under the mattress or from a drawer or from wherever, she would bring out her Baba treasure, Baba's photo. I just still remember very distinctly. She must have been a little girl, younger than me maybe at the time. And so she would show me these photos of Baba. This is Baba's this, this is Baba's that. And I'm saying, oh, whatever I am, I'm not a Baba lover and I'm not a hypocrite. Should I tell this sweet lady that I don't love your Baba? Why are you sharing all these things with me? But I just couldn't get around to saying it, you know. And I'd see everything and just smile and nod and whatever, you know, whatever reaction. But in later years, you know, she told me that you didn't love Baba in the beginning, but just like Viluanti for Sarosh uncle, she came to please him. So also you came to please Hosha, which is far from the fact because I came to keep an eye on him that he wouldn't fall in love with Mer Baba. I wanted to keep a Zoroaster. My one point of devotion was Zoroaster, the prophet, not even God. And so I said, no way. So I'll keep an eye on Hoshang that he won't fall in love with Hoshang. And then later on in later years, I became madly in love with Baba. And Baba, in the Mandli whole years later, my sister-in-law, Preni, my late sister-in-law, were very close to each other, Preni, Dada Chandji. So Baba said, Preni ne habo we mane nahi love sakta. Now they love me a lot. He went like this, right from the horse's mouth. And in later years, once I told Mehera, how much she loved my mommy, always sending things for her. Like, you know, she sends a parcel. My mommy was highly diabetic and quite a sickly person. Send the birthday cake and, you know, the same Gatia, whatever. She would send a packet for her. How much you are sending, how much you love my mother, you're sending so many lovely things for her. You know what she said? Shouldn't I? You love our Baba so much. So I always feel very blessed that from the horse's mouth, both these two wonderful people had this to say. And I try to love him more and more each day. I don't know how well I succeed, he alone knows, but I'm so glad to be watching your program and being here, Roshni. And everybody, Baba bless you. And Jai Baba knows so many of you. Baba Negeban. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. We are so happy that you spared time and you are with us, even with a late night program at our end. So
I just
thank you for that.
listened whilst I
And,
was watching.
and would
Bolo
love to have you every week. So we have Kashmira who wants to share something. Kashmira, before you share the story, do share your little background of being from the Baba family, so everybody knows as well.
Hi, Jai Baba. My great great granny and Baba's father were brother and sister, Piroja. The sister's name was Piroja. So my mummy's aunt married Baba's brother Beram. So as our childhood, we have stayed in Baba house. Full childhood we have spent over there. All our holidays were in Pune. Mummy used to just take us to Pune and we used to spend our time over there. Then we used to go to Guru Prasad. I was a small child, very small I was, you know. So I used to go and trouble Baba and say, give me sweet, give me sweet. And Baba used to send me to Mehera. And Mehera at that time was in seclusion. So I would go in the room and there Guldar Masi, my mummy, Mani Fui, they all used to sit over there, you know. So I would go and tell in Mehera's ears, give me sweet. This, as a child, I've done it. So when I grew up, I said, really? I used to go and like ask for sweet from Baba, and was I really going and meeting Mehera? You won't believe. I must have, like, I was in, after college, we had gone once to Mehrazad. My granny, my aunt, and me, we had gone there. And Mehra is looking at me and saying, were you the one who used to come and tell me in my ears what Baba used to tell you to tell me? I said, I used to ask for sweet. I was so shocked that she remembered and she came to me like, you know, means my recollection was true that really I used to go and ask. Then she's telling me, You like anybody? Tell me in my ears, I'll tell Baba, to match make for you. I said, no, I don't like anybody. Because I said that, I'm still not married. But I'd seen a dream, and in my dream, I hear Baba's voice. And I just get up and I say, Mama, Baba spoke, like I heard Baba talking. And I see in my house, Parin Masi, that is Rustam Sorab's mother, she comes with Baba to our house. And Baba is standing near our door, bedroom door. And Parin Masi is telling Baba, look for her, a nice boy. No, she's not married. Like I was 26, 25 at that time. So Baba is saying, I love you. I just started like get up and I say, Mama, Baba says, I love you. So that way, it was really, I felt that Baba was there and like full voice I could hear. So then that time Sorab said, many people hear Baba's voice in the dream, but they don't remember. She remembered I told the whole story and Mummy went and told Parin Masi. So like, they said that she was good, like lucky to hear Baba's voice. We used to go to Guru Prasad and like we were so happy seeing Baba over there. It was really nice. Now those days are
So,
not going to come back again.
so beautiful.
Jai Baba.
But so thankful that Baba is allowing you all to relive those moments and times so that you can spread all those cherished memories with us and we can feel that love as
Sure.
well.
My mummy used to always, like, when I was small, she used to sing, like, that one song, like, Pussycat, Pussycat, you think, Kashmira, Kashmira, where have you been? I've been to see Baba at Guru Prasad. Oh, Kashmira, how lucky you are to see Baba and kiss Baba. So really, I'm lucky. Thank
That's
you.
so adorable. Thank you. Thank you,
Hey,
Kashmira.
Baba.
That's so sweet. You keep your bag full of stories ready every week to tell us something, okay?
Yeah.
Jai Meher Baba, Jai
Jai
Mera
Baba, Jai
Meher.
Baba. Jai
Now
Baba
we
to
have,
everyone.
yes, be around, be with us, Cash.
Sure. Thank you.
So we now have Meher. Meher, please share.
I have the best news. I'm reading Mera Mera every Monday with Amrita and Rakesh and all. I just thought let you know. Reading Mera Mera. So it's really
Mehra
great.
Meher, the
Yeah,
Divine Romance.
yeah, every Monday we're reading it.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we're on the second book now. We've taken a
Jai
break
Meher
from that.
Baba.
Yeah, Jai
Jai
Baba.
Meher Baba.
Jai.
Lovely. So Vijayji, can we have some sharing from you? Anybody else who
Yeah,
could share, please don't be shy and raise your hands.
yeah. Oh, Jai Baba, Jai Baba. So nice that you started this program of Mehramai and such a privilege. And yeah, I first got Baba's blessing in 1953 at Nagpur. Brigadier Verma's, Barrister Verma's bungalow. I got his touch. My forehead, he shook. Then in 1960, I saw him at Guru Prasad. We stayed in Pune for 4 days with my father, and so there I had privilege to be around Baba for 4 days at Guru Prasad, playing mischief, of course, peeping into his room, and there are entering into his, following him. So there are stories. Then in East West Gathering 62, then around 64, yeah, and the last darshan in 69. So after that, I came to know about Mehra Mai and started visiting Mehra Zad occasionally. So I used to visit Mehra's porch and had many sweet encounter with Mehra Mai, and yeah, sitting, and even she used to tease me sometime, आज तेरा दांत नहीं दिख रहा. I used to give her a smile, and but I was kind of very careful about meeting Mara Mai. When I got married, first card I, of course, put at the tomb, and then I shown to Mehra Mai. She saw it. There was a big picture of Baba, and she said, "Yeah, अच्छा card बनाया है." And then after marriage, first thing I took my wife to Marazad, and then she invited her for tea, and then yeah, I used to sing song at Mara's porch, and yeah, very means lovely sessions. Her voice is so beautiful, you know. Her voice, like when Aishwarya Rai speaks, she reminds me of always Mehra Mai. Such a beautiful voice Mehra has, very poised and slow and whispering, and yeah, wonderful. And so anyway, that's what I like to say now, right now. And Jai Baba, thank you. Yeah.
Jai Baba. So beautiful. Hey, we see Rosalie is here. I'm sure Rosalie, Kathy, anyone would like to share some Mehra anecdote, any quote, any incident, any stories about Mehrazad, anything that comes to your mind, something that you've read, known, experienced. Okay. Havovi Auntie, anything else? Any other story that you would want to share? You have to unmute, Havovi Auntie. You have to unmute. Havovi Auntie, you need to unmute. Unmute.
I thought I unmuted, didn't I? I don't know.
No. हाँ. Okay. Have
Tayo,
bolo ji. Yes.
unmute, yeah. Okay, so many lovely stories because over the years, we've been lucky to be very, very close to Mehra. And this was like the days when I was very always close to Mehra. In fact, I'd always say that I love this lady, I don't love her, Meher Baba. It's so, I mean, she took me so close, she took me so close. I was very, very fortunate. Like my Ronu would always say, my Rona, कि मेरा तूने घणो लव करे छा मेरा मेरा नी फेवरेट છે કે એને મસ્તી કરે મારી and there's so many stories and one by one I incidents things that let everybody have a chance. There's so many lovely people waiting to talk. I'm sure everybody has some beautiful memories with Mera. Yeah,
Havovi
Mera
Auntie,
Queen.
encourage them to share.
Sure.
Yes.
Everybody is
Yeah.
very lucky to have known her so. And
Yes.
I think once also later on, this is a happy moment that when she went to Baba, that story also I've said on one of the occasions. So maybe that later on. But in between all the lovely years that we've been fortunate, to have tea with her, to have lunch with her, and lots of other things. Yeah, we were very lucky. Lucky clan. Jai Baba. चल तू बोल
Jai
ना
Baba.
जय बाबा
So, so in early years, in 2011, 2012, we had just started our satsang after we started the home satsangs. And I had not read much about Mehra during, just knowing that, okay, uh, the Samadhi is next to Baba and there is high importance of Mehra. I did not much know in that first year or so. But 2012, 2013 was the time where it was after one of our satsangs that had happened, and with some conversation that I had, it came up that with this line of which we read right now, that Mehra loves Baba as he ought to be loved, and that kind of struck that what could that be? What do you mean ought to be loved? How is a person loved? What is ought to be loved? And okay, we are trying, I'm trying, we know that you can't really use the word love. I can't use it, that I love Baba, because I don't know whether I'm like point some zero decimal also close as he ought to be loved, and whether that you word can be even used that I love Baba. So I
Right.
had hesitancy of saying this, So every time I say, "Oh, there's a new Baba, love Baba," say, "Yeah, but I'm not able to love," and I still don't know what this is. But what got me was this statement that she is my very breath, I cannot live without. That okay, if I have to break the ice with Baba, then Mehra is the roadmap, Mehra is the channel, Mehra is the way, and maybe Mehra can help me to love Baba, or attempt to so-called love Baba, or do something that will please Baba. And that was the time where I kind of started having Mehra quite often in my head, in my thoughts, while praying to Baba or so. And just out of the blue, would end up going to, while standing in the line in the queue of the Samadhi. A lot of times I noticed that I would just go to Mehra's Samadhi first before I go inside. And on one such occasion when I did that, and got back into the queue, I still don't know who it was behind me. And once I came back, that person just nodded and smiled, and I smiled back, and he said, "Jai Mehra Meher." That was the first time I ever heard this salutation. So I said, "Why did you say Jai Mehra Meher and not Jai Meher Baba or Jai Baba?" And he, shared about this importance of who Mehra really is in this Advent in a very brief way, and how, putting her first is what would please Baba. So yeah, that was my. And then just as seamlessly, I don't have any incident that I can say, "Oh, this happened and then I started loving Baba," or loving as in, got attached more to Baba, I would say, use the words. Nothing of that sort. And same way, just like a river flowing, she was a part of it. And sometimes if I had to ask, and I know that no answer is coming, something is not coming up, I've asked Baba what is happening, or this or that, and I would end up saying, "Mehra, please can you ask Baba to tell me." So yeah, it was just sweet, and I really hope that I could have met her. But yes, I feel good enoughly close, and she has always been there, almost as as you said, that uh, Mehra was there so lovingly for everyone. And the foreword of the book also mentioned how she was there time after time to be there for the new pilgrims who came, and likely for the old ones as well. That it's like she's the GPS to Baba for me. And if I would need to know the best way to please Baba, then Mehra knows that. So I keep that in mind. And yeah, we all have a hotline to Baba, but still. Yeah, anybody else wants to share something? Or we'll read one more page. We'll begin the chapter. This is a short paragraph just before the first chapter, which is called The First Glimpse, Sakori 1922. Beloved Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. May we be worthy of your most beautiful, precious love, Baba darling. May we keep loving you more and more through good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. And may we please you by remembering you always. Mehra. Chapter 1, page 13. The first glimpse, Sakori 1922. The very first time I saw beloved Baba was in Sakori at Upasni Maharaj's ashram in 1922. I was 14 years old. At that time in Sakori, he was known as Meherwanji. My mother already knew of Baba and also Baba Jan from her sister Freni Masi, Padri's mother, and she wanted my sister and me to love and follow a master too. But we had no idea of spirituality or masters, and she could not explain these things to us. How can you explain how to love and have faith in a master? You have to feel it. She had heard of Upasni Maharaj and that Meherwanji had been at Sakori with him. So she visited his ashram in Sakori with her sister, Freni Masi, to see how it would be for us to stay there. Liking it, she decided to take us there immediately so that we could be in and feel the atmosphere of a perfect one. You will like it there, my mother told us. The countryside is lovely, and there are some young Brahmin girls there who sing beautifully and will be company for you. She was trying to tempt us into going to Sakori. We were young and did not feel attracted to going. But of course, we wanted to please her, so we went. We arrived at Sakori, Chitali railway station at 1 o'clock at night. It was almost deserted, and we girls waited while my mother searched for a tonga to take us to the ashram, which was 10 miles from the station. Tonga is a horse chariot, olden days, and they still exist in Mumbai and in some other cities in India. It was still dark when we arrived at Upasni Maharaj's place, where we were met by Freni Masi. She had stayed on there while my mother had come for us girls, and we shared the room she had been given to stay in. We were very tired and sleepy, and so we rested a little. And in the early morning, we got up, washed, and had breakfast. Then my mother told us, the sun is up, and it's time for you both to go and see the temple. So my sister and I went off hand in hand. But the place was quite new to us, and we did not know which way to go. We wandered for some time and then went on to a porch and into a courtyard that was surrounded by three sides by two-storied buildings. When a young Brahmin girl, whom we later discovered as Gangi, Upasni Maharaj's niece, came running up to us, we asked her to kindly show us to the temple. She took us to a very big doorway set in green lattice walls, which was the entrance to a superstructure that covered this tiny temple. The temple was really very small and was inside the superstructure at the far end from the entrance. We had barely crossed the threshold of the superstructure when we heard footsteps outside on the wooden staircase of a nearby building. Upasni Maharaj's niece said, "Wait, come quickly. Meherwanji is coming. You must see Meherwanji." We stepped outside without seeing the temple and stood there while Baba came down some steps very quickly, quite close to us. Nobody had told us about Meherwanji. Nobody, not even my mother. She felt that we would not understand. Baba was so near and walking very fast. He was very, very thin, and his face was also very thin from many fasts and from not caring for himself. And it was very beautiful. He was wearing not a sadra but a pirhan, a white top with pajama pants that Mohammedans used to wear. Baba did not look towards us. He looked straight ahead, so we only saw his profile. And we saw his very fair skin and his brown hair. And sorry, and his brown hair, curly hair that was quite short, only about 1.5 inches long, and quite matted. A colored kerchief was tied around his head, so we had a long glimpse of him while he walked quickly away from us. We had come to visit Upasni Maharaj, but we saw Baba first, before we saw even a photograph of Upasni Maharaj or Sai Baba. At that time, we did not know how blessed we were. Maharaj's niece then took us inside the superstructure and showed us the temple. It was carved in stone, and it was so tiny that there was only space enough inside for one person to stand. Only a Brahmin priest was permitted in the temple. Side by side were two big pictures, one of Upasni Maharaj and one of his master, Sai Baba, who was no longer living. It had a very nice atmosphere. After seeing the temple, we met a Brahmin woman called Durga Mai, a disciple of Sai Baba, who had been told by Sai Baba that when he dropped his body, she should serve Upasni Maharaj. She was a very important person in the ashram. She lived in a hut with a thatched roof just outside the temple superstructure. Then Gangi introduced us to another woman called Subedra, who, like Durga Mai, had also been a disciple of Sai Baba and had been sent by him to Upasni Maharaj. In this way, Upasni Maharaj's niece introduced us to the whole ashram. My sister and I returned to our room, and when at noon the Aarti bell rang, we all gathered around the small temple under the superstructure. All the men stood on one side and all the women on the other, and several aartis were sung. One aarti that was always sung was, we found out later, the aarti that beloved Baba had composed in Gujarati for Upasni Maharaj. After aarti, we were given a tiny piece of prasad. This was now the time for all to go to Upasni Maharaj's hut. So the group of men went out the front door of the superstructure, and the group of women and children went out the back door. Many were visitors who had come for a few days from places like Bombay and Pune. We went through an old hand-made gate and walked down a lovely path which led through a mango orchard that had some young and some old and shady trees to Maharaj's hut. We had never seen a hut like this. It was made from mud and stones with a thatched roof and a floor, not of stone, but of stamped down earth. It was very clean and very nice. Maharaj was inside, seated against a wall of the hut in such a way that he could look out a window and see who was entering the gate and coming down the path to the hut. All sat down inside, men on one side, women on the other, and we were in the front line. Maharaj saw that we were new, and he asked my sister and me when we had come and from where. Then he asked our names. I told him Mehera. Mehera, he said, that will be difficult for the Brahmin girls to pronounce. They are not used to it. I will give you the name Meera. It's the name of a saint. And from today, we will call you Meera. So at home, I was Mehra, which is Persian. At Sakori, Meera, which is Hindi. And in the convent school, they had called me Mary, which is English. Then Maharaj's face brightened and he looked very pleased. We were all curious to see what he was looking at. It was Baba coming down the road towards the hut. Before entering, Baba, in respect, bowed to Upasani Maharaj at the threshold of the hut. Then he came in with his hands joined as we do when we pray, and he bowed again to Maharaj. I was very shy and I never liked to stare, so I was looking down when Baba entered. But then I said to myself, I must look. Baba was so very lovely standing there in front of Maharaj. Although his cheeks were hollow from many fasts, Baba's face was very beautiful. He had a mustache, but it was not a full one as he had later on. Maharaj said to Baba, I am happy that you've come in time, Meherwan. I was waiting for you. Wait outside for me under the shade of a mango tree, and I'll come in a few minutes when I have sent the devotees home. So again, Baba bowed, and he left the hut without turning his back to Maharaj. He bowed again at the threshold and he went to sit in the shade of a mango tree. That was the second time that we saw beloved Baba that day, our very first at Sakori. Maharaj then told everyone to take their leave. Quickly, quickly, he said. He was in a hurry to meet Baba. And after joining hands to him, we all left the hut. As we came out of the door, we glimpsed Baba sitting under the mango tree. We were somehow attracted to him, and Baba in white looked very lovely under the shade of that tree. Out of respect, we circled the hut 3 times, and each time we came out to the front, we could see Baba sitting under the tree. The Brahmin girls kept telling us, walk quickly, but we wanted to see how Upasni Maharaj would greet Baba. So we walked slowly down the path to the gate, and luckily the road was quite long. At the gate, we looked back again to see Maharaj come out of his hut and with his sackcloth around him and with his hand on his hip. He walked up to Baba and sat down in front of him, very close to Baba, but they did not embrace. And then they began to talk. So that was our third glimpse of Baba that day. We returned to our room and had lunch. At the ashram in those days, the rooms were free and we had to only pay for our food. Many devotees ate at an inn run by a Brahmin woman, but we ate in our room. We, being young, were very hungry, so we ate well and enjoyed ourselves. After lunch, we, my mother, Freni Masi, my sister, and I, sat talking in our room. These particular guest rooms at the ashram were all in a row and had no veranda. There was a little open ground in front of them, and then a road for tongas that ended a short distance from our room. People taking tongas to and from the ashram had to take this road near our room. Suddenly, we heard the jingle jingle of the horse bells of a tonga, and it stopped quite close to our room. Then we heard the voices of women, laughing, happy sounds, and the sound of many footsteps coming quickly. We heard out of our door and saw Baba walking very fast towards the tonga, and many women running and laughing as they tried to keep up with him. There were Brahmin women, young and elderly also, and some children, and some Parsi women too. Baba reached the tonga, caught the tonga rail, and jumped in. Baba, though so thin, was very quick and energetic in his movements. He sat in the tonga, and now Baba's feet were on the footboard of the tonga, where everyone's feet have to rest. All the women took advantage of this, and rushing, they wanted to bow their heads at his feet. Baba was bending down and saying, "No, no, don't." Baba was talking at that time, and he could see him trying to stop them from doing this. But they were all hurrying and pushing one by one to bow down to him, as they knew that the Tonga would start at any moment. Baba turned to the Tonga wala and said, "Come on, hurry up, hurry up." And the horse started to trot, and the younger girls began to run after the Tonga, trying to reach Baba's feet. Baba was saying, "No, no," but still they would not listen. They wanted to touch Baba's feet. That is called taking darshan. And to Hindus, it means to touch the Lord's feet. How else would you touch him? Then the Tonga turned and Baba left Sakori, and the younger girls had to stop running and come back. We saw all this, but we did not have the sense to have Baba's darshan. It was not in our destiny to touch Baba's feet at that time. I had Baba's darshan first at Meherabad. So the very beginning of my story is my seeing Baba 4 times on that first day at Sakori. The first time we sorry. The first time was at the entrance to the temple. He was so beautiful. Secondly, we saw Baba with his hands joined in respect in Upasni Maharaj's hut, looking very lovely, standing in front of Maharaj. The third time, we saw him sitting under the shade of the mango tree, talking with Maharaj. And the fourth time was when he was leaving Sakori in the Tonga, and the women tried to touch his feet. That was Baba's last day at Sakori, while Upasni Maharaj was physically present. Their work there together was completed, and we were so fortunate to have come that very day. We can say that seeing the face of the Master is having darshan too, and we saw Baba 4 times that day. We had come to see Upasni Maharaj, but first we saw Baba. Our connection was with him. Jai Mehera Meher. This ends with the first chapter. I'll share a lovely song by Misha. It's on Mehera.
A secret in your smile speaks, an inward giving in your glance, the diamond spark of the first dawn. You are the body of the dance, the arms that held the infant moon, held this earth when it was born, with a love beyond forever. You are the secret in the form, and your smile enchants the heavens, makes the flowers burst into bloom. Ecstatic bees start dancing wildly, so in love with your perfume. It's the way that you adore him, with the perfect love you've shown, lets us know how we must treasure this precious life we've come to know. So I sing to you, Mehera, and I offer grateful praise. your life for Him and your perfect loving ways. Oh, beloved of beloved, oh, dear mother, light our way. Oh, beloved of beloved, oh, dear mother, light our way.
Batteries on 15. So the next time around, and how long is this going on session? It's almost over.
11:30. It'll get over at 11:30. So the last half an hour we can chat again, stories.
Yeah, 13. I'm sorry, but I'll try and, hear till I can last, as long as I can last. 13.
No,
I didn't
the
know how it
last
will.
half hour we'll just chat and any stories again, sharing and all. So we will finish the reading by 11 every time, and then open it again for stories and things. So anybody else would like to share a story about Mehra, about any other women Mandali that you've read, known, experienced? Yeah, there's so many lovely people out here. Would love to hear from anyone.
So many lovely people would want to speak. Why are they quiet? I'll miss out on them, but maybe next time.
Yeah.
Another half to go, huh? It's 11:30. Next time I'll keep it properly charged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So there was this beautiful thing when I was fighting with this thing of not saying uh, that can't say I love Baba. There was this very sweet thing that came that in earthly love you fall in love, but with him you rise in love.
That's a beautiful.
And
In
it's
his will.
I don't need to use I love him, but I can use I am in Baba's love. And
Yeah.
that came beautifully once while praying. So then it kind of relieved my heart. Okay, I'm in love with Baba. So the work in progress is to love him as he ought to be loved. But we can still be in love with him. Yeah. So beautiful. It's okay. Vijayji, let's hear some song from you. Something, any song you think, any of Baba's bhajans that Mehra liked, any Madhusudan bhajan or anything like that, which particularly Mehra liked. Are you aware of that?
Well, Mehra liked Meera bhajans and yeah, Meera bhajans, I think particularly. I don't know how Bobiji may be knowing more that which
More
bhajan
in
she
English.
liked.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
OPG loves Meera, but doesn't sing Meera bhajan. I sing a lot of English songs with Samadhi and enjoy doing it. So one
Uh-huh.
next time when my battery is not on 12, I'll sing a song. Okay? You go ahead,
Sure.
Vijay.
Uh,
Sure. I've got a
I well, the song I sang at Mehra's Forge very often, and that was I wrote myself. I was inspired to write and sing. I will sing. Hmm. Every day and every night, everywhere and every side, I sing may hear your love song. I sing may hear your love song. May hear Baba your love song every day and every night, everywhere and every side. I sing may hear your love song. I sing may hear your love song. May hear Baba your love song. I see Meher in my dreams on the hills and falling stream. I see Meher in my dream on the hills and falling stream. Everywhere I see your beauty, everywhere I see your form, every day and every night, everywhere and every side. You are my Lord and sweetheart, form of compassion and Almighty God. You are my Lord and sweetheart, form of compassion and Almighty God, came to awaken, not to teach, becoming Meher avatar every day and every night, everywhere and every side. I sing Meher your love song. I sing Meher your love song. Meher Baba your love song every day, every night. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Wow, that was so beautiful. When did you write this, Vijayji?
In the 80s. 80s.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
so beautiful.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing, Vijayji.
Yeah. Welcome.
You all are such precious gems.
Oh, thank you. You are too.
Oh,
Yeah, you
and
said that you don't love Baba, but that you don't know, you can't say. I also can't say. But when other people, when they tell you, they can feel it from you. So they sometimes they can tell you, "Oh, Roshni, you love Baba."
yeah.
So yeah, it's
I
like that.
I meant that there's the effort is there. We want to love Baba, but my thing was that I don't have the audacity to say I love Baba because I'm sure I don't love him as he ought to be
Yeah,
loved, and
yeah,
therefore the safe zone is I'm in love with Baba
yeah.
till he makes it
That's right.
happen, and we keep working towards it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sure, sure.
and
Till perfection.
yes,
Yeah.
how many ever lives that would take.
Oh, yeah, sure, sure. But we are there already. We are in a shelter, so we don't bother for now how many
Yes,
lives.
yes,
We just like
doesn't
to
matter
be.
at all. True,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
As in this song Jai Ho, there's this one dialogue line of money which comes in that once Eraj asked Baba that everybody is asking me, what have you gained by living with Baba? And Baba tells Eraj that they are all asking you the wrong question. They should ask, what have you lose? What did you lose staying with Baba?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and each day let us just lose our heart to him more and more.
yeah. It changes
I,
our entire life and entire perspective to the life.
yes,
That's what we get.
so much,
Yeah.
so much. Today's Irani Pateti also, it is now coming to a
Yeah.
close. So as we, in next 1 hour, it will be Irani New Year today on
Oh,
17th
great.
July. So
Uh,
happy New Year to Baba
yeah, same to you. Yeah.
and to Mehra and Money and
Yeah.
everyone. Yes. It's just, while reading Lord Meher or while reading Real Treasures and reading any of these monthly stories, reading Mehra, the only thing that would always come to my heart is that it's not humanly possible for them to do what they did for Baba, to be close to the
Mm.
avatar. and so much of grace he had already, like, in gallons given them, that they were able to surrender, love, and just, be there the way Avatar wanted them to be there. So much of
Yeah.
grace. And without his love and grace, none of us can, as beautifully in this first chapter, she said, it was not in our destiny to touch Baba's feet. And right now, while reading it, brought me to Baba's quote that we even hear his name only when he wants us to hear his name. And we
Yeah.
could be staying like 500 meters from in Mehrabad, and people don't know of him or about him.
Right.
And yeah, such a blessing. So blessed we are. We can't even imagine how blessed. Yeah. Huh. We have our dear Rita Auntie. Rita Auntie also writes very well, beautiful poetries and lovely couplets she writes in her love for Baba. Someday we'll get her to share. Rita Auntie, would you like to share something from your phone? Come on now, everything is ever ready in your hands. You're muted, you're muted. You have to unmute.
No, next Friday I'll do it. Next Friday.
Okay, okay, done.
Next,
Done. Next Friday you can do it.
yeah.
Great Baba.
Jai Baba Havovi Auntie. Jai Baba.
On 6, I have to eat. Anyway, I sent a message to say thank you. A big thank you.
Ajay, Jai Meher Baba. Thank you.
Jai Mehera. And don't see battery.
Such beautiful silence. All right. I'll share a poetry song that Baba gifted on the Silence Day this year. Okay. Oh Meher, oh Meher, your love is in the wind that makes me fly. Your love is in the wind that kissed my eyes. Your love is in the wind that stroked my cheeks. Your love is in the wind whose silence speaks. What could I do without you, oh Meher? Where could I be without you, oh Meher? Oh Meher, oh Meher. Life was so crazy, the stakes were high. Your love breathed through and made me sigh. Mistakes were pricey, but you came and said they were just my life's bad Angie takes. Oh, Meher, then your love became the wind that made me fly. Your love became the wind that kissed my eyes. Your love became the wind that stroked my cheeks. Your love became the wind whose silence speaks. Where could I be without you, O Meher? What could I do without you, O Meher? O Meher, O Meher. What could I do without you, O Meher? Tell me, oh tell me, oh tell me, where would I be without you, O Meher? O Meher, O Meher. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. Oh. 15 minutes away from another program. If anybody wants to share anything, please go ahead. Unmute yourself and you can share. And I will end with the Baba Dhun again. You all can talk. Oh. There is. Did anybody from otherwise, besides the older senior Baba lovers, that Mehra was a very good artist? Did anybody know that? There are such beautiful drawings of Mehra in her younger days. And I'll show those images when we come to that chapter. Yeah. There's so many sweet things. Vijayji, when did you come to Baba?
Uh, since my birth, I can say, because in 1953 I was baby, so Baba called my father at Nagpur, and he came from Jabal. So and then since my childhood also, I had that means Baba was like my family Sadguru and Godfather and everything. So because my father was so devoted, and uh, I grown up seeing Baba as God, and it was not intellectually, but it was like a the feelings means I grown of it, and but then later on intellectually I started going through his books like story books, and then discourses, and God speaks, and still uh, exploring God speaks, and it is such a joy that Baba could give to the humanity such a great book. And this God speaks prescribed in even John F. Kennedy University's curriculum, and so all over. And the wonderful thing is each time we read and we get a new perspective, and so still exploring, but I always felt like Baba is God Almighty, and And actually, Baba praised my father for having that trust and faith. So it is mentioned in Lord Mehera also that Baba appreciates his trust and faith. So trust and faith is such a thing that you have to grow in his love, single pointed trust and faith in Baba. Yeah. But it's a joy now. See, it's this satsang and singing and being, I think it's such a joy. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you, Vijayji.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
so sweet.
Welcome.
I always think when these mentions about Baba's voice was so sweet, and it was there in the chapter that we just read, that
Yeah.
what would it be to hear, and how clever was God that sound was not invented for us for any recording to be there.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, that
his
why I was,
mischievous
yeah.
ways that he didn't allow sound recording to be invented till he went into silence.
I think he would have broken all the records and all the singers in the
Yeah.
world, they could have gone zero.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So true,
uh,
so true.
yeah.
He gave us the hint of technology through his keyboard that we use today.
Yeah. Yeah, all these mobile phones and see,
Yeah, yeah.
Avtaric period is like it's new inventions, world wars, and First World
True,
War, Second World War, and all these inventions. And now this Zoom, my God, it's really something
true, true.
which never
A-
happened in past 400 years. This 100 years, Avtaric period, all this happened because
and
he
how
said that.
fortunate.
Yeah, yeah, he gives a push to entire humanity, not just. So the and now
No, I'm
even the
saying
new generation is so grown up in their consciousness. We surprised how the kids even they react. Yeah, yeah. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Yes. Now we're saying so fortunate are we that Baba has placed us at such an important time during his manifestation, and yet given us that opportunity that we have been born in a time where there was nothing of this, and enjoying all the extremism of technology as well. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like he's given us best of all the worlds
yeah, yeah.
to use at its best.
And
Yeah,
the
so
most
beautiful.
important thing, he's awakening. Means he said, "I am not come to teach, but to awaken." So in the consciousness means the awareness which we are getting more and more towards everything. So yeah, that's his blessing.
True, true. Without which we can't move a nano dime.
Y- Yeah, it's a joy.
you know
It's a joy.
when this
Yeah.
the alphabet board, when I first would see you alone exist I love, so when I keep seeing it often, and when Baba does this, I used to always think, okay, he is God, he can do anything. But
Yeah.
what is the grace that he has bestowed on that man standing next to him, who has to read which word has just got over and what sentence has just got over?
Yeah.
And I said, how crazy would that be for that speed to gauge? Okay, now
Fast.
it's full
Yeah.
stop. Now word is over. Sentence is over. It
Uh,
just like it still blows my mind completely to think of how
yeah.
much grace Baba had on the Mandli
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get his gestures to keep up to the speed of the avatar in its literal sense.
Yeah,
So
actually,
much love.
RH was when he was present, it was easy for RH to translate everything because Baba used him like a robot. Because when Baba left his body after that, I think RH even have difficulty. um, so, see, it is Baba himself who made everything act.
True, true. So true. Okay, so we will end this with our beautiful montage of Mehra on the Dhun to close
Yeah.
our session today. Tomorrow, see you all at the Seven Realities meditation if you join in at 5 p.m. India time and 7:30 a.m. EDT.
Meher Baba, 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 Meher
Everybody can unmute and we'll say Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai and also say Jai Mehera Meher. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Jai Mehera Meher.